Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Kindness Rising.
Every morning the world starts quietly, one soft light at a time. Homes flicker awake, shops open. People take those first small steps into a brand new day. And in all of that ordinary movement, there's something kind of extraordinary. A moment worth noticing, a spark you feel before you even name it. Sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's small, but kindness shows up right on time. And every morning we choose to show up with you so we can look for that spark together.
Good morning. I'm Matt Roof, the Uncommon Kindness Guy, and this is Kindness Rising. Let's rise together.
Everyone, and welcome to Kindness Rising. This week, we are talking about trust, not the surface version, not the inspirational poster version, but the bedrock version. All week long, we're going to be revealing, testing, and reinforcing our foundation because trust isn't soft, it is structural. All right, here's the thing. Trust is vibe. It's not chemistry and it's not comfort. It's actually our infrastructure. It's the invisible architecture holding up our existence. Families, friendships, teams, and community, even our own sense of self, all rest on those five letters TRUST, trust. Because when trust is strong, creativity flows. People speak honestly, conflict becomes productive, and accountability feels safe. But when trust collapses, everything slows down. People armor up. Meetings, they multiply. Silence spreads. We talk about productivity. We talk about culture. We talk about leadership. But underneath all of it is one quiet question. Do I feel safe enough to be real here? Trust is not built by perfection, it's built by vulnerability. It's not built by power, it's built by consistency. Trust is earned in drops, but it's lost in buckets. And all week long, we're going to be talking about trust, self trust, personal trust, relational trust, team trust, all the things that build a foundation of success. Welcome to Kindness Rising. Good morning, everyone here. I am so glad you joined us. Daniel Allison coming in from LinkedIn, getting ready for his first sip show right over there on LinkedIn. Daniel, I am glad you are here. Mike Sullivan, of course, good morning. Welcome in and a happy start to your week, too. And lastly, Roseanne Roof, of course, good morning, Mom. Always out here with me. Herman, oh boy. Yes, we don't need that. We're going to let that go. Yeah. Turn your volume up. I am not mute. I don't think so. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Is everyone out there hearing me? King Gold Dust says he cannot hear me. Okay. Anyway, we're talking about trust. Trust is something that we do every day here on Kindness Rising by showing up. You can trust that I will be here 7:30 a.m. Eastern every weekday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am glad you can hear me now, King Gold Dust. Where are you coming from? Tell us more about you. You've reached Kindness Rising. We are here every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, to bring a little hope, humanity, and heart, and some more high fives for humanity and less rage bait. So we're here talking today about trust. We're going to be talking about trust all week long. And this is based on this book. Does anybody ever know this book? You're in New York, so am I, Gold Dust, upstate. Yeah. So, Five Dysfunctions of a Team, Patrick Lencioni. I don't know if anybody knows this, but here it is. And I'm going to be talking about it all week long. This book's about 20 plus years old at this point, but it has been a major influence and a major impact on my life and the way that I lead teams when I'm at work and at home and anywhere else. And the whole idea that the foundation of our pyramid of success is trust. Without trust, the whole pyramid falls. That's the bottom line. It's not lack of talent. It's not lack of strategy. It's not lack of attention, of intelligence, but it's lack of trust that will make your whole foundation fall. I have no problem banning people who come here with that kind of nonsense. Thank you, Roseanne. I am glad you can hear it. Okay. Uh, anyway, it's that lack of trust. It's that lack of trust. Because when trust is missing, here's what happens. The conflict, it becomes personal. Yeah, there are different pyramids, absolutely. Uh, conflict becomes personal, commitment becomes shallow, accountability feels threatening, and the results become political and everything cracks. That's why trust is the base layer. I'll show you that. But we're going to talk about this all week long. I'm going to be referring to it. I'm going to be referencing it. I'll probably show some videos of Patrick Lencioni. Absolutely. So here's the thing. There's 3 layers of trust. 3 layers of trust we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about self-trust. We're going to talk about relational trust, and we're going to talk about team trust. But it starts with self-trust. Do you keep the promises to yourself? Do your actions match your values? And do you tell yourself the truth? I sense there might be some people out there right now, today, who need this lesson about trusting themselves and trusting their truth. Because if you don't trust yourself, you'll struggle to show up cleanly for everyone else. Self trust, self betrayal, that erodes your internal trust really fast, and every broken promise that you make adds up. Trust grows in inches slowly, but it erodes quickly and in silence. Absolutely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No trust, there's nothing, King Goldust. I agree. I agree. Yes, I love that, Mike Sullivan. Put yourself out there. Put your name on it. You guys know who Jay Moore is? I like Jay Moore. Comedian, absolutely, who uh, puts his name on things. Just, this is who I am. I'll say it to your face. I'll say it online. I don't hide behind comments. I don't try to get a rise out of people by hiding anonymously. I put my name on it and say my truth. Absolutely. And we talk about trust. Trust sometimes we think of always at frequently as uh, about trusting other people. But the first trust you ever form is the one within yourself. It's a quiet agreement, again, between your values and your behavior. And most of us fracture that agreement every day. I know I do frequently, and I have to remind myself it's a reason why I am here talking about it today. Absolutely. You say you'll wake up early, then you don't. You say you'll have the hard conversation, then you avoid it. You say your health matters, but then you compromise it with smoking or drinking or overeating or not exercising. You say your integrity matters, but then you stay silent when it really counts. Every small misalignment chips away at something internal within yourself. It just erodes away your self-worth, your confidence goes with it, and it's accumulated evidence to yourself each time you do that, that you can't trust yourself. But guess what? There is a way to break that, right? You break that pattern, the breaking promises to yourself, because your brain will learn that pattern. My words don't mean much. Internal instability that leaks outward. You hesitate more. You second guess yourself. You over explain because internally, you don't really believe you're going to follow through. That's the big message for today. It's about self trust. It's about those tiny actions for yourself, being true to yourself, making and keeping promises to yourself first is what builds your confidence. I've gone through many periods, ups and downs, where I'm leaning into my confidence and been so true to myself and feeling really good. And then somehow it leaks away and it erodes, and I start questioning my own self-worth and my own confidence. Absolutely. All right. Well, I am glad those of you who have chosen to stick around are sticking around. Thank you very much. Your nonsense, NBR, don't care about. King Goldust, I am glad you are here. Staying away from negativity, that's part of that self-trust. Absolutely. And I want to shift gears to something that happened over the weekend. Last week, we were here because I come here every weekday morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Last week, we were talking about the comebacks. Don't call it a comeback. Well, guess what? A big comeback happened over the weekend. I don't know if there's anybody out there who is into the golf world. I used to be deeply interested in it. I still check it out. I uh, am interested in what's going on. I love to play the game. I don't follow it as closely, but something happened over the weekend that is a real world example of self-trust in action. Anybody out there know a guy named Anthony Kim? Anthony Kim won the LIV golf event in Adelaide, Australia over the weekend, but it was his life has become this moment was his moment, his master class in self-trust and comeback. So the guy won a golf tournament, big deal. But here's the context. Anthony Kim was once one of the hottest stars on the golf tour 10, 15 years ago. Everyone was saying he's the next Tiger. He's coming up. The kid came out unbelievably fast out of tour school and made a name for himself. And then it seems like he disappeared. Well, what happened was injuries, personal struggles that led to addiction battles, that led to self-worth battles, and he just disappeared, just faded away like Anthony Kim. Who's that? For more than a decade, 10 years out of the spotlight. And most careers don't come back from that. Most people don't come back from that. But guess what? He did. He won this weekend, 3 days away, six days away from 3 years sober. And his quote after winning, he said something very powerful. Nobody else had to believe in me but me. Whew. That's self-trust, not hype, not ego, not pretending things didn't fall apart. Self-trust is the decision to keep going, keep showing up for yourself, even when there's no applause. Kim went to rehab. He had to rebuild his body. He had to practice when no one was watching and staying aligned when it would have been easier to quit for over a decade. Over a decade, nothing validated him. No scoreboards, no headlines, no paychecks, no trophies, and no guarantees. Just daily alignment with himself, especially over the last 3 years as he's worked through addiction. He talks about, if you have a chance to read more about it, the impact of his wife and his daughter. And the other quote that got me, and I'm going to butcher it because I didn't write it down, I should have, was he wins the tournament. His young child, probably about 3 years old, probably right at the time of his sobriety, 3 or 4 years old, comes running on to the course, as we see all the time when these guys win. He lifts his daughter up, he's holding her, right? Emotional moment of comeback. But what he said after was really important. He said, she might not understand today what that meant, but someday she'll look back and know that her father was not a loser. Not because he won the golf tournament, but because he won at the self-trust game and at life. The golf tournament was just the outcome of the work that he put in every day. And that came after he won back his own internal credibility and his own self-trust. The ability to stand in the arena again without needing everyone else to believe in him first. That's self-trust. Thank you for joining here on Kindness Rising, listening to my ramble about Anthony Kim and self-trust. All week long, we're going to be talking about the 5 dysfunctions of a team. And let's jump into the comments again, because it looks like some people have gotten involved. NBR Love, I'm a hypocrite. Tell me, what is it about me that makes me a hypocrite? I am living to my standard to the best I can, to be honest, to be open, to be vulnerable. Yes, I've done hypocritical things in my life, absolutely, but I do not consider myself a hypocrite. Just because you do something hypocritical does not make you a hypocrite. Just because you do something stupid does not mean you are stupid. We all have a chance to come back. So just like I do, you do have a chance to come back from this. Absolutely. Jimmy Armstrong, welcome in from Pittsboro, Mississippi. Never been there. I don't know. I've never been to Mississippi at all. Although I saw a great movie over the weekend about Mississippi in the 1930s. Insane movie, Sinners. Have you guys seen that one? Wow. That movie was quite impactful. A horror film, technically, but way more than that. Way more than that. And it's nominated for the Oscars this year. And if you can stand a little blood and have a little bit of deeper thinking about allegories and stories that are really not what they are, a little bit deeper, check out Sinners. Awesome. No one is perfect, King Gold Dust. Absolutely. I appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel. Everyone out there, absolutely. Your mind on meme. Yes, okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. DCAS. Do I take peptides? No, I don't. No, I don't. I know over on Mornings in the Lab, maybe you joined us from over here, from over there, because I'm part of the Mornings in the Lab network with Keith Billis and John Anderson. I know peptides are a big part of the conversation there. I'm, of course, interested, curious, but it is not my bag at this point. But I'm curious. I am curious. I'm always curious. That's one of the things we lead in. Tell me more about your world and peptides. I know the GLP-1s and all this other stuff. Check out, if you're interested in peptides, I honestly suggest that you check out the real John Anderson. John Anderson on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and Friends, which is coming up right at 8:00. And you can check out John's work on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on just about every channel that's out there. And he has a lot of personal experience, experiments with peptides, and has a lot of connections with that. So DCAS, that's my referral for you. You can tell them I sent you. Anyway, so we're talking about self-trust. We're talking about, I always try to add a little bit of the neuroscience to it, though, right? Because what is trust all about? What survival mechanism is trust reinforcing? Predictability, certainty. When your actions align with your commitments, your nervous system just relaxes. And that consistency, it builds internal safety. But when you repeatedly violate your own standards, your brain interprets that as instability. Wait, we're not acting the way we thought we were going to act. And what does that trigger? Stress. Stress. Oh no, I'm not being honest to myself. I'm being hypocritical to myself. Very hypocritical to my values, right? Sully, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Yep, yep. Um, uh, absolutely. So self-trust, when you're believing yourself and you have your actions and your behaviors aligned with your values and your thoughts, right? We've talked about as a man thinketh. It's all part of that. All part of that. As you think, then you behave, then you build your identity, and then you become, right? And you find serenity within yourself. That self trust is going to lower your internal friction, make your decision making cleaner, and reduce emotional noise. The noise of, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? How am I doing it? Sounds like trust and belief are two words that need to be understood in order to work. Absolutely. Trust and belief. Trust in yourself, belief in yourself. Absolutely. Roseanne, mama. All right. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great day today. Get off to an amazing start to your week. It's President's Day. There's a lot of people who are off of work or businesses that are closed. There are lots of people who are getting started with Lunar New Year, starting the year of the horse. Always a special time. Oh my gosh, I just spit. I don't know if everybody saw that. Um, Always a special time for us, Lunar New Year. We have some um, traditions, and it comes from our good friends who adopted a child who's now a full grown adult, 30, almost 30 years old, but they adopted a child from China. And we became friends with them when we first moved into our house 20 plus years ago. And we used to do a Chinese New Year so that our friend's child, who's Chinese by birth, would have a chance to understand her culture. And she's a little bit older than my kids, so she was kind of their little mentor even at that young age. And we would have Chinese food, and we would talk about what year it was and the Lunar New Years and the dragons and all that. And the point was teaching ourselves and about community, about different cultures, teaching our kids about being open to ideas that maybe aren't their own, or people who don't necessarily look like them. Not so much about whether it's New Year or not or what it was. It was just a fun way to connect culturally. So I highly suggest that's part of what we do here. We on Kindness Rising, we talk about being open and we live that life openly. That's my example of Lunar New Year. This year, maybe we'll do a little something, but the kids are all grown up and out of the house. But Lunar New Year always triggers uh, those thoughts for me now. That's what it's become about. That was the tradition. We did it for several years, years and years and years as the kids were growing up, even into their teens. We would have them over for a Chinese Lunar New Year. We don't call it Chinese New Year anymore, I guess, in the world. We call it Lunar New Year. I don't really care. The point was what I'm saying, which is we're open to new cultures and new ideas, and to support a child who already felt different, but to give her that chance to lead us down that path. That to me was the cool part. All right, getting back to our subject, as wow, time is flying. 7:55, we're winding down here. Here's the question that I have to ask you about self-trust and about how you're feeling about yourself. If someone treated you the way you treat yourself, would you trust them? Would you trust someone who breaks their small promises, who avoids harsh conversations, hard conversations, not harsh. We don't have to be harsh. Hard conversations, says one thing but does another, changes their standards based on what's convenient. That's the internal relationship we need to make sure that we examine, that we're keeping our promises to ourselves, that we're not avoiding the difficult conversations, but having them with kindness and with heart and compassion. That we say one thing and do that thing. Put our money where our mouth is, walk the walk, whatever cliche you want to use. That's where it all starts. And later on this week, come on back, 7:30 a.m. We'll start talking about the team impact of that. Not just, I mean, this is a workplace focused subject. Um, but it's true no matter what kind of team you're on. We are all in some kind of team, whether we're volunteering at church or we're on a softball team, which apparently I got invited to play softball this spring, or they're looking to build some people I know. And I don't know, haven't decided whether I'm going to go there or not. But whatever kind of team you're on, group of people, trust is at the foundation. Absolutely. So let's just talk briefly about how self-trust is built. It's kind of the opposite of what I just said. It's the answer to those questions, not big declarations, small kept promises starting within yourself, those actions. I'm going to make my bed every morning. Make your bed every morning. I'm going to send an email to a friend 3 times a week. Send the email to a friend 3 times a week. I'm going to work out. Oof, that's a tough one. I'm going to say the truth kindly. That's a good one, right? Because each kept commitment, that's a deposit into your bank of trust, and that's going to grow over time. It's going to accumulate with interest, right? It's going to grow in interest. It's going to grow through repetition. Because before anyone else believes in you, you have to believe in your own word. It's integrity. It's self-confidence. That's it. And that's what I do every day when I come here. That's why I come here. One of the reasons I come here, not the only reason. I come here for you, to build our community, to have some fun together, to be positive, to that's the word I was looking for. Have an alternative to the rage bait that we all see out there in the world, for a little positivity in the morning. But I show up here every weekday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. I hope you will join me here on Kindness Rising, and then get on over to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, where they will continue the same type of conversations. Absolutely. Here's your reflection for today. Quick reflection. I want you to ask yourself, where am I withholding honesty? Where do I need to rebuild trust? And then the deepest one, do I trust myself? Like I said, I have had periods of time in my life where I have not trusted myself, where I've not been true to myself, and it comes out in my actions, because self-trust is built by keeping those small commitments to yourself, by aligning your words with your actions, and by telling yourself the truth. Step by step, repeated consistently over time, to build your strong foundation. Thanks for joining me here on Kindness Rising. Come on back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Subscribe to the channel. Check it out on YouTube. Check out Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. If you're still interested in peptides like DCAS is over there, or other opportunities, the point is to get up, get after it, to learn, to grow, and we want to do that together with you here on Mornings in the Lab. Trust, it's the oxygen of healthy systems, and you can feel it when it's present. You can absolutely feel it when it's missing. And this week, we will be rebuilding it in ourselves, in our homes, in our teams, and in our communities, because kindness without trust is fragile. But kindness built on trust, that's bedrock. Come on back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. And until then, stay uncommon and stay kind.
What if your mornings could be inspiring
and ridiculously fun.
Kindness Rising isn't just a show, it's a full wake-up vibe.
It's freaking fun, people.
Yeah, man, it's got real get after it energy.
I love it.
Wake up with Kindness Rising.
I help purpose-driven people grow their impact. 5-ingredient recipe to help you build your personal brand. Get out there and take kind action.
If it's live, they'll feel it.
On Kindness Rising, we bring you proven strategies and fresh ideas you can actually use. If you're not failing, you're not trying.
Exactly. Fail fast, rebound faster.
You'll see the bloopers and the genuine connections that make kindness contagious. We sometimes get into a little bit of trouble.
Pretty much my life made the list.
You can trust what you see right here is honest, respectful, and uplifting. Social impact organizations, and we always talk about them. Try kindness. It's way cheaper than therapy. You just made my day.